I remember when Naruto first came out, GA told me about it, Ninja Story, and watching it, I remember because Naruto, the character, was an orphan, and because he was an underdog, that's what drew me into Naruto, hands down. The fighting techniques at first, wasn't really that impressed, to be honest with you, especially since his Naruto's main attack was just cloning himself. But that wasn't the reason that I liked.
That wasn't from the beginning, though, was it?
It was. In the first episode, he learned that he stole the scroll, and he learned that.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And basically, it wasn't the fighting, it was just the angst. There was a lot of angst in Naruto. There was a lot of, he wanted, a lot of angst and loneliness. And I'm not saying I identified with it, but I definitely sympathized with Naruto. I thought it was a sad kind of guy, but he was very, positive. He wanted to be the best, even though he was sad on the inside. He just wanted people to like him. He wanted to make friends. And he was a character he wanted to root for. Now, going on, as it went on, I just wanted him to be a good ninja. Everyone just wanted this guy to be a good ninja. And, he had this mysterious thing inside of him. And it was very interesting. But then, I don't know what happened. First, they introduced all the supporting characters were very interesting as well. Rock Lee, the guy with the
Everybody loved Rock Lee.
Everyone loved Rock Lee. Rock Lee, the guy with the funny eyes. Even Sakura. Sasuke, I really like Sasuke.
I like Sakura.
Sakura. Well, to be honest with you, didn't like Sakura in Naruto. In Shippuden, loved her. But
Anyway, go on.
We'll get to that. So the thing with Naruto, I'm trying to retrack how I think it went through the phases. It went through a phase of Naruto being the lonely guy, showing he has potential, and then this rivalry between him and Sasuke was very good. Drew you in because they were always trying to one-up each other, even though Sasuke was a skilled ninja, knew all the basics, had good powers, had talent, but Naruto saw him first as a rival, then as a brother, then... question mark, I'll get to this in a minute. The rivalry between Naruto and Sasuke seemed to be a major part of Naruto. That didn't bother me. What bothered me was Naruto became the series in its simple biggest flaw, where Naruto became the biggest part of the show. Where the thing I loved about Naruto was when we first started watching it, I felt like there were so many other characters there was to fear. Rock Lee and Gaara and this, that, and there's so much going on. But as the series went on and on, I started to realize that they were trying to make Naruto a superpower. But as a ninja, I didn't like him because I thought he was actually going to learn techniques and be a good ninja, but he's a fucking fluke. As far as ninja goes, I think he's one of the worst ninjas I've ever seen. From his character design, wearing the most brightest colors I've ever seen a ninja that's meant to be inconspicuous wear, to the fact where he can't even do basic ninja things. To this day, he can't do basic ninja things. I think a pinnacle point in the tuning exam was he beat the guy with the eyes because he said he couldn't make a clone of himself. Well, anyway, I don't even want to get into that. No, anyway, I want you to have your turns. Let me just quickly go through. This is the original series. Then obviously, Naruto and Sasuke's things start to really intensify. Naruto and Sasuke seem to represent two of the storylines going on with the Orochimaru, I can't even pronounce that guy's name, and Sasuke's brother and the death of his clan. That was very interesting. But, Naruto and Sasuke, their relationship became really strange to me. I don't know. With the whole fighting at the waterfall, then obviously the legendary 130 episode of filler, which totally put everyone off Naruto. Then they tried to do the time jump, and I just hated Naruto at this point because after Sasuke left, if you haven't watched Naruto, people, sorry. After Sasuke left, Naruto was just pining after Sasuke, and I thought it was like a brotherly thing, but I started to see more of a romance between the two. That's how I felt. I'm not even being funny about it. I just didn't get it. And all the other characters in Naruto became secondary. All of them. Even Kakashi. Which was just sad. Which was really, really sad. So anyway, Naruto ended. Believe it or not, I don't have much to say about Shippuden because I only watched Shippuden up to the point where they caught up to Sasuke again. And after seeing Naruto cry He was, I thought Sakura was in love with him, but Naruto was the only one on the floor crying for him, crying tears of, and having flashbacks of him and kissing Naruto and all this other shit. But yeah, so much about Naruto was a complete disappointment. The character Naruto, him as a character, I just don't like him anymore. I thought he had potential, but he's just a fluke. His ninja skills, I don't like them. Frog powers, and all this other shit. He's just, as a ninja, he's just too quirky for me. And all that things I felt of, the emotional connection I had to Naruto for being sad and an orphan and all this other stuff, it all disappeared. Because he just became some kind of superpower that's going to save the whole village. But when I look at him as a ninja, I just think to myself, are you joking? This frog boy is going to be the hero of the day compared to all these other characters. And all these other great storylines they had, Kakashi, the Akatsuki group, Sasuke's brother, and even Sasuke himself, they all just fell second to Naruto. And honestly, Naruto just took center stage. And it's just one of those, I think it's just one of those situations where you finally see that the main character is not that great, and they focus too much on him, and everyone else takes a back seat. And that's what you're left with, Naruto, because that's what the show's about, Naruto, and there's nothing about him I like. And ultimately, I can go on swearing and rants and everything about it, but ultimately, Naruto's not an interesting character anymore. It revolves around him and Sasuke now. There's so much new characters in Naruto. I don't follow Naruto anymore anyway, so yeah, that's my ramble about Naruto. I'm sure there's more I could say, but it will come to me eventually.
Okay, you taking a deep breath? You probably need a glass of water after all that.
No, I'm fine. That's all.
Yeah.
I had to ramble about it just to get.
Did ramble.
So, you go then. I always ramble. You guys should be used to it by now, to be honest with you.
Yeah. We are. It just sounded like D Grey Man all over again in a way. But anyway.
Really? I think there's a big difference.
Yeah, because D Grey Man, you weren't stabbing the anime while you were talking about it. You know what I mean? Anyway, for me, the reason why I started watching Naruto because you gave it to me, Dom. And to tell you the truth, it wasn't really my kind of thing to begin with when you mentioned to me it was about ninjas, because ninjas are not my favorite
point of view.
Yeah, because like I always say, when you watch anime and there's ninjas in there, whether they're 20th century ninjas or 18th century, 16th, whatever century ninjas, they're always covered in black, hiding in trees, and just ready to get sliced by whoever comes along. Basically, it's like a warm-up session, So obviously, when I heard about this anime, I wasn't really that interested, really. But you know me, I give everything a go once. So anyway, when I watched it, the thing that I liked about it was the emotional elements and the character development, especially at the beginning. Naruto as a character being literally an orphan and being ostracized from the community, was something that I liked. The fact that he, like you said, he was a positive member of the community, and he always wanted to be the best, and he always, wanted to become, the head. He wanted to, become the what I've even forgotten what they're called now. The Hokage. Yeah, he wanted to become a Hokage, didn't it? That's what he wanted to do. That was his main goal, and it was just interesting to see that. So, and then obviously seeing the way that they did it, seeing ninjas growing up to become ninjas, and the whole town of ninjas. It was all quite interesting to me. When watching it, I found especially the fight scenes, like we were talking about Rock Lee. And please apologize for my pronunciation of the what's his name? The snake guy. I can't remember his name.
Orochimaru.
There's no way in hell. Do you know what I mean? I can pronounce that.
I'm sure I said it wrong, but I just think that's I'm
gonna try. Well, I'm not gonna try. You just did it so great. The fight scene with him and was it the third?
Yeah.
Or was it the first?
The third. It was the third.
The third was mind blowing. So friggin' mind blowing. I loved the relationship at the beginning between Sakura and I've forgotten his name now.
Sasuke
and Naruto, because you had the typical guys that obviously liked each other as friends, obviously, but they had a kind of what's the word? A kind of.
I hope we're not going to say rivalry.
Yeah, they had a rivalry, but it was a.
I thought. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Between the two of them, which basically the whole foundation of that rivalry was the fact that it was to help them be better, to get stronger and be better. You know, I liked Kakashi as well. I thought it was really interesting. There were some funny moments. Him always covering his face and blah blah blah. It made it seem to me that, you know, there was a good relationship between the three, and they all had issues, except for Sakura. She came from a typical ninja-ish background. She had a mum and a dad, didn't she? And blah blah blah. But Sasuke and Naruto, they were kind of ostracized because Sasuke, all his tribe were gone, and Naruto was ostracized. So it was a really good, to me, a good fit at the beginning. Yeah. As it went on, it just got too watered down for me, in the sense of the filler was amazingly bad, and the reason why it was so hard for me to watch Naruto because of in between the filler is because when you were watching it, there would be some pivotal moments when you are really into it. Like, I think around the fight with Rock Lee, I think after that fight there was filler. There was a section of filler.
Well, after his leg got broken.
Yeah, I think, yeah. There was. You would get to a point. What I'm saying is, you would get to a point with Naruto is that you would be at the height, like your heart would be pumping, you'd be watching it, like yeah. It would get to a really interesting point, and then they'd put this large section of filler in the middle of it. Do you know what I mean? And it would just bring you down because you are waiting. You would think, okay, how long can this filler go on for? How long could these unnecessary episodes go on for? Maybe 5. Do you know what I mean? Maximum, you'd think 5, wouldn't you? But sometimes they'd go on for 10, 15. I don't even know. It just seemed like a long stretch of filler, and it was so freaking unnecessary. And then another thing with Naruto, because you had, how many Naruto movies have we actually seen? Have there been?
There's only been 3 Naruto movies. Shippuden, I think there's now 3 or 4, but I only watched the 3 Naruto movies. I haven't seen any of the Shippuden ones.
So you had the movies as well as the filler, as well as you wanting to know what's going on in the actual story. So it got to a point where it was just exhausting watching it for me, because it just felt like I'm being punished. I'm being punished for watching Naruto, because I'd be watching it and enjoying it, and then they'd be like, okay, that's enough enjoyment. Let's get to do some filler. And I just wouldn't even understand where it came from. And that was what is frustrating. Naruto as a character, I don't have an issue. I never had an issue with him being the main character, right? Because I think that when you watch Naruto from the beginning, you kind of know he's the main guy. Yeah? His story is the most heartfelt. He is the main guy, right? My issue with Naruto is the fact that he has not developed any skill that he hasn't taken from somebody else.
Thank you.
And everybody else has a natural
original
skill, but this guy has taken it from everybody. Somebody has shown him, let me show you how to do this, and let me show you how to do that, yeah? And then when that doesn't work for him, he just reverts into Nine Tails. So to me, it feels like there is no Naruto. There is no Naruto. There is just pieces of people and things that he's picked up to become who he is. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure people are going to argue. Well, I don't watch Shippuden, but I do know in Shippuden he has found his own power now. I don't care.
I mean, I'm saying, to tell you the truth,
and to be honest with you, I don't know what it is, but I heard it's the equivalent of Goku's Spirit Bomb or something like that.
Oh, but he had that. Yeah, that was.
No. I'm not talking about the Rasengan, or the Rasengan Fireball. I'm talking about he has a move where he draws energy from the plants and everything around him.
Okay, that sounds really interesting.
That's like the Spirit Bomb. That's like
seriously, that was going to make my eyes roll back in my head. The fact of the matter is that for me, that was my problem with it. And then the other problem is, if we're talking about Shippuden, is that when he actually met up with Sasuke, Yeah. Actually, I want to leave that for a minute. One of my favorite fights. I've got so many favorite fights in Naruto, and I'm not going to say I haven't. I've got so many favorites, yeah. But one of the ones I liked was when the last fight between Sasuke and Naruto, right?
Yeah.
Where they were like half beasts.
Under the waterfall.
Yeah. You know, I really liked that fight because to me it seemed like the end.
It was the pinnacle of Naruto. Naruto should have ended there.
Yeah, it seems like they should have gone their separate ways.
It did end there, ultimately, by the way. It more or less ended there, because everything after that was filler, and then it ended anyway, so yeah.
Their relationship should have ended there, yeah? My issue was that when you go Shippuden, Naruto was looking for Sasuke again, and I don't understand why. And another reason why I don't understand why, because he's let you know it's never going to happen. We are not going to be friends. Do you know what I mean? We are not the same, yeah?
I don't think he wants to be friends with Sasuke.
And secondly, when he actually does meet up with Sasuke, the actual levels, the fighting levels, are so ridiculous.
You wish you just don't know what the whole 3-year training was about between the Naruto's. I don't know
what, because when Naruto comes back, what has he learned? I mean, Sakura, she's learned
how to fight properly.
How to fight, yeah, and she learned from
medicine. She learned some medicine techniques as well.
Yeah, and she learned from the new Hokage.
Yeah, that's the fourth.
And you know, I liked her, and you know, I'm all for the women, and she's a really good female character, and I liked Sakura, that suited Sakura down to the T. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So that's fine, yeah. But what has Naruto learned? Literally, he's still cloning. He's still doing his spirit ball, whatever you're calling it, and he hasn't really learned much. And then I have this issue with Kakashi as well. At the beginning of the whole Kakashi, when you get to know Kakashi, you feel like he is the man. He's strong, he's got levels, he's got, you know, he's like an onion. You can put him back, there's stuff in there. But when it comes to the end, yeah, of Naruto, they just make him so weak.
They treat Kakashi like he's a fake as well. They treat him because he's got that eye that was given to him as part of one of Sasuke's clan members.
Yeah.
They act like he's a fake, he's a phony, and you know, to top it all off, now he's not even on the same power level as Sasuke or Naruto. So
I just feel like, you know, to me, I'm very, very disappointed. Yeah, with Naruto. The reason why I don't watch it anymore.
And don't forget about how all the other characters were falling into the background as well.
I mean, some of the this is what I'm saying. I could personally go on for hours talking about the best bits of Naruto, my favorite characters of Naruto. What was the?
All right, I'll tell you the best part of Naruto that everyone can agree with. The best arc in Naruto was before Naruto and Sasuke had their fight under the waterfall, when everyone was trying to rescue Sasuke, because there was a team of Naruto and I think 3 other guys, and they each had to fight, and every fight was excellent. Rock Lee had to fight a guy that was made out of bones. Another guy had to fight. He had all these bugs inside of him.
Yeah, that's the guy I was going to ask you. What was
the guy name? Had a dog. The guy had a dog fighting with piss. There were so many good fights up to that point. So many good fights, and you got to see every character have a good fight. Even Gaara made an appearance. He saved Rock Lee and made an appearance to save Rock Lee and fight the bone guy.
I mean, the thing is that...
Excellent. That was amazing. I loved that part.
The fact of the matter is the other characters, even they seem to have grown so much and learnt so much. I don't know.
But you're not allowed to see them. You're not allowed to see them grow, how they've grown. And the main thing is, as a viewer, they are not allowed to overpower Naruto.
Yeah, so my thing is this then. The two things I have is this, that one, if you want, one thing I don't agree with you on, yeah, in regards to Naruto, is the fact that if you were watching Naruto thinking that we should know more about the other characters, or we should be more involved and they shouldn't have made it all about Naruto, then obviously you're watching a wrong series, because it's called Naruto. So we know it's about Naruto. It's always going to be about him as the main character and his life.
Is that what they sold to you watching the first half of Naruto? Is that the feeling you got, or are you just saying that based on the title of the anime?
No. That is the feeling I got from day one.
Okay.
Yeah? Remember, at the beginning, you see Ninetales, yeah? You see Ninetales being, I'm sorry, whatever, spoiler, whatever. If you haven't watched the beginning of Naruto, whatever, what can I say? Yeah, you see Ninetales being put into him. Blah blah blah. You know it is all about Naruto. It is about him. Yeah. Everybody else are going to be side characters. Yeah.
Really, they're not side characters, they're shadows. There's a difference. There's a difference between having side characters and having characters that don't do anything anymore.
No, I think
that's what Naruto did. Naruto showed you these guys, showed you their potential, and then put them in the back of the classroom so you never see them again.
I think what it is that...
So you tell me that, I should have expected that. That's nonsense.
No, well, to me, the series is always going to be about Naruto. When we watched the series, obviously, the whole thing about them all going on to the next, the whole bit about when all the towns came together to do the tuning exams, that's when you really got to see the other characters. And maybe you got hooked on the other characters. And if that's the case, I can totally understand that. Yeah? Because... I'm
laughing because you're trying to make me sound like I was slightly delusional, that I tricked myself into falling for something. I totally, you know what, I don't appreciate what you're saying, because I totally do understand the show's called Naruto and it's about Naruto. That's fine. But what they did was they brought characters to the front line and then they dragged them all the way back.
I don't
That's
know
what they
if
did.
you can actually say that, because the fact of the matter is, when you look at, especially you, mostly what you're talking about is that series. Especially that's when we got to see all the other characters and what they could do, isn't it? And then we went back to Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura after that.
That I can agree with. That I can agree with.
Where is where they should be.
Okay. But it's not just that they went to the background. It's that their powers and all of their moves became insignificant.
I think you missed them too much. I think you did.
Not really. I'm not saying they were great characters. Like Rock Lee, he was way more powerful than Naruto, and now he's a joke.
I have to say this as well. Every time you say Rock Lee, yeah, you know what I think of? That guy, that picture on, what was it, on YouTube, the black guy with the sweaty armpits wearing the Rock Lee outfit.
Oh, you've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, and the block. I can't help getting that picture out of my head.
That's funny.
So
wasn't he doing the splits or something?
He was doing the splits, and I tell you, he had waterfalls underneath his armpit, man. He was turning that outfit a different colour that I've never seen before in my whole entire life. Sorry. Every time you say Rock Lee, for some reason, even though I know who Rock Lee is, obviously we all.
But you know what? But let's wrap this. I want to wrap this up a bit, because I just want to say.
Wrap it up, really?
No. I just want to say one more thing. There's only one other character I felt they really brought into Naruto, who isn't called Naruto, who they focus on a lot, and that's Gaara. He played a big part in Naruto for a very long time, even in Shippuden. He got a lot of screen time. A lot. You can't say
because he was very, very powerful. And one of the last ones that what I remember watching was that guy who was trying to steal his.
Exactly.
That was trying to take his. What he had, because he had the same thing with Naruto, because him and Naruto were kind of like the same.
But that's what I liked. But that's what I'm saying. Naruto's balance was all over the place. 1 minute you have these characters, and then for you to say you should have expected that to happen. It's nonsense. No, even Bleach didn't do something like that. You have the characters there; they're always going to be part of the show. You don't put them in the front, then drag them back, then shove Naruto in your face for 50 episodes. Then when the filler comes, shove these characters you ain't seen for. What is this?
I think for me, this is to wrap it up. For me, my issues with Naruto is the fact that the filler is ginormous. He as a character has not grown at all. To create his
I think a lot of people, when I saw him come back 3 years later to see that he actually changed, the blue stripe to black, I was just shaking my head.
I wanted, the fact of the matter is, I just feel like if you're going to come up against Sasuke's got, I don't understand the mission behind.
Does it even make sense, that Sasuke can't even kill Naruto at this point? The last thing I saw, Sasuke even went into Naruto's mind. Remember that? I was laughing at him. I can even go into your mind now.
This is my problem. My problem with Naruto is the fact, like I said, for me personally, I can't watch Naruto anymore because the filler is too much for me. It is too much for me to sift through all that filler with fine tooth comb to get to the gems. It's too much. And Naruto as a character has now too weak. The last, I think, what was it? The last one I watched as well. When he went into his mind, didn't Naruto go back to Ninetales and was like, "Please lend me your power"? And I was just like, seriously, mate, you really need to get a clue. And you've had 3 years of training. You've even got a new master. And what have you learned? How to call a toad. Like,
well, you know what? Let me just say this. After speaking to the guys about this, I don't know if they're listening now. They might have just fast forwarded.
Hey,
They already know this. You know, they were telling me that what Naruto's doing now is bringing people back from the dead.
So what is it? I thought, what is it? Naruto from the grave?
I don't know.
Once a ninja has been sliced, they can't.
And anyway, I read. Oh, by the way, people, just so you know, I actually still read the Naruto manga. No, I don't read the manga. I read summaries of the manga because I just like to hear. And you know, the last thing I read, it's just like Naruto and Sasuke made some kind of marriage pact that they're going to be the ones to kill each other. Like Naruto's like, put all your anger towards me, Sasuke, direct it towards me. I was just like, this is just terrible.
I just think the relationship with Naruto and Sasuke, they've just taken it to a whole nother level. We all understand that. I can understand why they try and make it so deep in regards to Naruto, because I suppose Sasuke he had a very strong kinship with Sasuke at the beginning, and I can understand why he would still want to be friends with him or whatever.
Friends? That don't look like. It don't look like just friends to me.
I don't know what to say.
And to be honest with you, that's the thing that baffles me the most about Naruto. I've seen a lot of other anime where people fight for their friends to the point where they're crying, they're willing to die for them. But with Naruto and Sasuke, I thought it was a rivalry. I really felt like they wanted to one-up each other. There was even a fight where they wanted to kill each other, even though underneath I knew they respect each other. But then the way Naruto is expressing his feelings for Sasuke, to the point where he's crying. I'm like, even Sakura was looking at him like, what is this?
Like, seriously, like, grow some balls. The fact of the matter is, Naruto at a point is carrying on like a battered wife, I have to say. The fact of the matter is, you are so weak. Literally, you cannot stand up to Sasuke right now. You can't do it. You as far from when I stopped watching it, he couldn't do it. And at the end of the day,
so what's the predictor? So let's just predict the end for Naruto, because Naruto.
I have found the end now. I'm not watching it no more. That's my end.
No, I'm predicting the end. It's either going to end in the cliche way where they have their ultimate fight and Naruto wins and he somehow manages to take Sasuke back home.
To do what though? He can't go back home. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. So ultimately, what? So Naruto has to kill Sasuke then? Is that what has to happen?
For me personally, I watched my last fight with Sasuke and Naruto, and I think that was one of the best fights they're ever gonna have. I don't really see it getting any better than that, because at that point they were on par, right? It's fine to have an inward power, right? But Naruto's power is not like Gaara's power. Do you know what I mean? He needs to. It's not all encompassing as Gaara's is, yeah. So he needs to find his own. And the fact of the matter is, he's been training for 3 years and he still hasn't found anything like that. So I really can't see any way that they can be on par. And if they're going to do this thing where they're going to turbo boost him to be on a better level than Sasuke, it's not going to work. But saying that, the things that I do want to say about Naruto, and I'll stand by that, is without the filler, yeah, there has been some really, really good series of Naruto that I really, really, really enjoyed, yeah, and I found it, and it did open my eyes to at the point where I watched it to, I did enjoy the fact that I saw ninjas in a different way. No, I wouldn't say in a different way, but seeing them growing up as children, and I appreciated their lifestyle, you know, until 3 or 4 years later when you saw something called Basilisk. Let's not talk about my baby right now, right? Because if anybody has heard the introduction, knows how I feel about Basilisk. You know, I'm not going to say that Naruto and Sasuke aren't like bum buddies. They do seem to be that way. You know, at the end of the day, it's just sad to me because it has so much potential to be the best for me. Other people are watching it, and I'm sure they're finding it thoroughly entertaining. Me personally, I just felt like it fell short because he did not grow as a character. And for a main character, the guy that he's supposed to be holding up the series, For him to be so dependent on everybody else and what everybody else gives him, it's just lame. And Ninetales inside of him, it's just lame. That's what I think about that.